Hello friends, my name is Rajiv, and in this video we will understand the environment variable in Linux operating system. This environment variable is very important not for developers or programmers, even for users also, because environment variable is a variable which contain the important paths, your important paths variable which contain the key and values. So let's say if you have an executable file in certain location in your system and you want to execute that by some command or by that same binary file or exe file, not in exe because in Linux we don't have, so by bin file if you want to execute that, so if you have that environment in your environment variable set in your system, then you can easily start that application or get those files very easily. So I'm sure that most of you, if you are not a developer, not a programmer, you are very afraid of these words like environment variable. Oh, what is this? Like, you don't have to worry about that. It's very simple. We'll go through this straightforward and see some practical example with that. All right. So let's start. So we'll start with how we can create environment variables, and then we'll see the display, how we can see that variables, and how to remove those variables. Like sometimes we don't want some variables to be executed. So alright, so let's see. If we'll start the terminal, yeah, this is my terminal. So if I want to create an environment variable, well, first we'll create a simple environment variable, and then we'll see like how it is important for us. So let's see, I want to create an environment variable called Linux, or no, not Linux. I'll create my name. So you can create by simply export Rajiv. So I want to create a environment variable named Rajiv, and that value will be path to Rajiv, whatever your path you can enter here and hit enter. So what happened, Linux created a path Rajiv. So if you want to see that, you can see by echo space dollar Rajiv, and if you hit enter, you can see your path to Rajiv, whatever you mention here, it's display here. Okay. But this is created just for your this shell. Once you close this terminal, this path will be removed. Okay. So how you can set this permanently in your system? There is two more ways to do this. This is temporarily you are storing one environment variable Rajiv in your scene, but if you want to store this environment permanently for your current user, so you can add this you can add this variable in bash.rc file. So where's the bash.rc? If you go to your home folder, and here you will see your .bash.rc, and if you can open this file in gedit, and user can easily edit this file. It's not that much permission. You have the permission to do this because it's in user home folder. Okay, so you can add this export. I'll show you. I can just copy this path and paste it here, or before that, like I'll show you, I close that, and let's see now this time if I say echo $Rajiv, my environment is gone completely. I didn't have that environment right now. Okay, but if I say I already paste so I export export Rajiv equals to and your path. And for now I will just copy this for future, and if you hit enter, now if I say echo $, my path is done. Close that. Now this time I will add this line here. Okay, what I will do export Rajiv equals to, or don't give gap, and you can give the path name like path, or like you can just say like I will say hello world. Okay, let's save this. Let's open terminal again, go to terminal, and this time if I say echo Rajiv and I say hello world, it's display here because I set the variable here hello world. Okay, well, fantastic. The theory is enough. Like I will see that with something right here and will display here, but what is the practical use here, like why I need this variable? All right, so don't worry, I'll give you one practical example. Well, like say if I want to start real flow, I know all of you VFX artists know the real flow. It's a fluid simulation software, but I want to start that real flow from my terminal, and if I type real and press tab, I don't have any application called real flow. But most of the time I need real flow and I want to launch that application by terminal, but it's in not the environment path. The exe, that bin file is not an environment path. So what I can do, I can set an environment path for that. Okay, so let's go to the location where real flow is. So let's go to real flow 2014 and bin. So this bin, I can see that real flow bin file is there, and if I say properties and just copy this path. Okay, and remember this is bin file, like binary file, and we want to set this binary in our path. So whenever we type here real flow, so it's saying that real flow command not found, but we want to set our real flow. So like our real flow application will start with real flow command. For that we can set a path to our system. Okay, how will set? I'll show you. So let's say here you can say export path. Here we are exporting this to path because all executable in Linux it's catched by this path variable. So you just follow this. It's pretty straightforward. No need to confuse in this. So $path. So export path equals to $path and semicolon and your path to your real flow bin file. All right. Let's save this. Minimize this. And now if I type real flow, oh shit, I think I need to restart that shell. Real, and if you press tab you can see all real flow commands will be visible there. So you can real flow, and with real flow command we started that application, real flow software. So with that, like any executable which is contained in any folder, you can put in a path and it will execute by terminal. And it's most of the time like other applications require that path to do such things like to transfer data and whatever. So if you are very new, you're not a developer, you can use this for like that kind of work to avoid that to go to inside the folders and all. So like I set it already a bunch of environment variable, like Blender. If I want to start Blender, I can type Blender here and it'll start Blender for me. So why it's starting? Because I set the Blender in my environment path. Because of that it's starting. So this is very useful for visual effects artists. You guys must understand this thing. This is very important. And if you are setting up like some custom tools or some open source stuff, like in my case I'm using render farm software like CGRU. So if you want to start your server like AF server, you can see like these all are in my paths. Because how these are coming in this, because I set the path. But you can easily see here, like you never see that any Blender path here, not any FNC path here. But why these paths are coming, from where these paths are coming? Because if you edit any, or if you enter any path here in .bashrc file, these will be used for the current user, which home folder this file is contained. Alright, so let's say if in this current system have like many user, or you are using Active Directory system, so like domain based system, so all users must have access to their all environment paths. So for that we can set paths to the system. So how you can set the path to the system is, you can I'll show you first, like gedit, go to etc profile.d, and here you can set your file whatever, and after that you can put .sh shell extension. So in my case I already create that HQVFX environment.shell, and if we open that, so here I have all the paths which already I added there. So like you can see the Blender is already there. Like other application, I set it the paths. So because of that I can easily access all the softwares here. Okay, and so so when this environment bash.rc file is for local, you can understand that okay, for current user you can use this. And if you are an etc profile.d, this is for system. But what is the use for shell? Like we used export here, like if you do something here, like export Rajiv here, then how we can use this shell? So let's say if you don't want to store any path permanently in your system, and if you have any executable file which required some particular libraries to run that file. Okay, so library files are, I can give you a very good example with DJV player. I hope all of you are aware about that software. It's a very good image sequence player. If you go to HQVFX bin and DJV, so by default I'm in this bin folder, and if I start that DJV here, let's say open in terminal DJV, it will give you a error, like there is no such file, error with shared library. This error is coming because this current binary file required some dependencies of library which is not found in library path. So what you can do, you can just export a library path where all the library required for that current binary is present or it's available there. Okay, so in my case for DJ view, actually these libraries are required. So what I can do, I'll show you here. I can export this path just before executing that DJ view path. So I already created a shell file for that. I'll show you quickly to get more understanding. So here, let's say, okay, where's the file? Okay, Control C, Control C. So here what I'm doing, I'm exporting LD library path. So whenever you want to export a library path, your name must be this LD library path, otherwise your libraries will not set properly. So alright, so what I say that, okay, in library path you go to and check the bin folder and DJVlib folder. Okay, just hit enter. So now my libraries are set, and if you go back, and now if I execute DJV, my player is start without any error. So this is the use of this library path, LD. If you export LD library path in your shell, no need to save this in your environment, because this path is only required for this executable. So why you can just create a shell file like that. So here whenever I want to execute that, I can just run DJV view, and if I enter, my player is start. So this all is happening because of these environment paths. So that's why I say environment paths are very, very important, not for developers, for users also, for end users also, because you can save a lot of time and you can do a lot of things with this environment path. So if you know properly, most of the time when you install or configure any application or any new software, that 80% of the issues are happening because of paths are not proper. So if you set the paths properly, everything will be run properly. Alright, so in this let's move forward with some Python paths. It's very, very important to set the Python path if you want to run any Python application. So let's say if you are running any application which requires some dependencies like PyQt or any other external package which is not found in your Python path, then how you will execute that? So for that, you should have the where's the path, where's the your package is, it should be in your path. First of all, how we can see where's the Python path is and what Python paths are currently in our system. So to get that, you can use echo. It's very simple. You can just type echo dollar, oh, I want this terminal console. Okay, so let's say echo dollar Python path, hit enter. It will show you all your Python paths, like what Python paths in currently in your system. So I can see blah blah blah, these paths are in my system. But there are some other methods also to view the environment paths. Like if I want to see the entire paths in my system, like how I can do that. For that, I can say, like, let's give some gap so we can see that, like print environment print env and press enter. It will give you a complete list of your all environment path. Okay, so very useful if you want to look for any particular information. Okay, so now let's move how I can grab some particular path. Okay, so as I mentioned here, like if you are looking for any particular path, so let's say in my case CGRU location. Okay, so print environment, and you can grep grep, and here you can give your name. So in my case I will give CGRU underscore location. Okay, so right now it's not there, but let's try Python path. Okay, so this returned me a list of all Python paths which is in my system. And what if I want to create new Python path inside that? For that, what you can do, alright, so for that what you can do here, like I can show you with practical example, like whenever if you want to export Python path, okay, in my local I sent that. So it's very simple, like same as paths. So in paths we send like export path equals to $path and where our bin file is, but this time I want to export the Python path. So what you can do, export Python path equals to $Python path, okay, and semicolon and give the path. So in my case, like if I want to add a new path here, so like I can give one semicolon here and I can say new path VFX pipeline. Okay, so I added new path VFX pipeline also. Let's save this and grab these environment paths. So if now, okay, you need to restart your shell because you change in your bashrc file, and I can see my new path to VFX pipeline is there. Okay, so this is how the shell is looking, the VFX the environment paths. Okay, but now I want to confirm with Python like which paths are in the Python path. So let's say go to Python shell, like let's start that. Start Python editor, and in Python editor I will say import system, and for each in system dot path print each. Okay, so with that I can see my all the paths which I set there are there. Okay, so what else I can tell you about paths? Yeah, okay, like one thing is left, unset any variable. So let's say if I want to export VFX pipeline equals to www.youtube.com VFX pipeline. Okay, so export VFX pipeline equals to youtube.com VFX pipeline, and you guys don't forget to subscribe my channel. Okay, it's very appreciating for me, and thank you. Alright, so let's say export VFX pipeline. Now if I can echo $VFX pipeline, okay, I can see that is working fine, but now I don't want this variable now. Okay, what I can do, I can simply go there and unset, but this time we don't want this this $sign here. Type unset. Now let's echo, you will get nothing. So the question is, why, in which situation you can use this unset variable name or whatever. So let's say if you are working on two different projects, and you have a different tool set for one project, different tool set for another project, and you don't want these tools clash with each other. So it's very useful. You can just create a shell script where you can unset all the environment variable which is related to your project 1, or vice versa. So with that you can use the unset variable or this thing. So in this we covered export paths. So if you want to export path, export path equals to $path and your path name semicolon, and export, if you want to export any desired name, you can export that also. If you want to export your libraries, you can use this ld library path, and after that this. If you want to set your environment path for current user, you can use .bashrc file, and if you want to set system environment variable, you can use etc profile.d folder, and you can, inside that you can create a file for display echo print environment grep variable name, and remove that. All right, so this is it for this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. All right, see you there. Bye bye.